Juice Renee Costner. Today we are ranking sheep videos today because now we're getting close to the end of March. I'm thinking to myself, we need to do a ranking video for today because obviously we need to start ranking some sheep videos, and maybe we might have to do goats at the end of this month as well. So we might have like just 1 week of ranking videos and maybe an iron tour. Well, it sort of depends really, but let's get into it, shall we? So our third video today is Baabara, who's a snooper. The thing is, Barbara's like, I like her design and all, but the thing is, it's the creepy look of her eyes that gives me the sort of vibe that I'm thinking right now, is that I don't think she is one of my favourites or anything because of the way she sort of puts me off a little bit. The design looks, pretty and all, but then you've got the creepy look as well, which puts me off. So I'm thinking maybe a 2 because I'm not really a big fan of Baabara, but because obviously her design sort of puts me off. And I think her house interior also puts me off because it's sort of like her house looks quite, stormy, and it's not really nice, is it, when you got a house that's full of a storm? She could have served much better, but that's why I gave her a 2, because she's not one of my favourites by any chance, and plus she won't have been one of my favourites either, so that's what I mean by that really. So our next sheep of the day is Cashmere, who's stupid, but the thing is, I've had her once on my other iron before, and it wasn't a pleasant sort of story really, because I wasn't thinking to myself, was I going to get a good other sheep video? But obviously it was Cashmere, and I was thinking, what am I going to do with her? And plus I was trying to get off the iron at some point, and she just didn't want to leave for some reason. But the thing is, I don't really like her that very much because her design's a bit off-putting, and she's kind of underrated, so it sort of puts me in the terms that I'm giving her a low, because it's going to be probably a 1 out of 10, because she's not one of my favourites, but also she's one of my dislikes as well. That's why Cashmere is in my bad books for that, because she didn't want to leave the island for some reason. Maybe she had something about it, but even her house interior was quite put off as well, so that's what I mean by that. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is Curlos. He's a smugfish. Well, the thing is, Curlos, I've not met him before, but he's definitely another underrated sheep. But the thing is, we don't have more underrated sheep getting listed here, do we? But obviously, if you guys are like big fans of Baabara and Cashmere, then you can always disagree if you want to. But what we're going to give Curlos now, it's going to be quite a hard one, because he's not the sheep that I'll be looking for, to be honest. I've not seen one everybody's on, so it's probably going to be a 3 out of 10, because one thing, he designs okay-ish, but I don't get it. Is it his facial expression or something? But I'm not really sure what I'm going to give him, so that's why I gave him a 3, because he might not be one that I like in particular, but at least I've given him something, So let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is Dom, who's a jock vid. Well, the thing is, Dom, he's definitely a fan favourite of everybody else's, because everyone loves Dom, don't they? I feel like he's definitely a fan favourite. So the problem is, I've not had him on my iron, so if I had him on my iron, I'll have more experience around him. But the thing is, I don't really, because he's not on my iron, but who knows? But I know that everyone likes him because he's so adorable and that stuff. And even he's in Evil Wimps, one of these short films as well. So he is quite popular. So what do I give him? Well, I'm thinking I don't want to do too many, 9 out of 10, so otherwise I get too much, So what could I give him now? Well, honestly, you guys can disagree and go 10 out of 10, but for me, because he's not one of my favourites, I'm thinking maybe around an 8 out of 10. Well, I wouldn't go 8, for example. I would have gone 9, but I didn't know what to do, because, Dom, he's like one of those sheep that you feel like, yeah, he deserves a high, but maybe a 9. But obviously for me, I don't want to do too many 9 out of 10s. This is why I'm trying to make sure I limit it a little bit. So that's why I've gone with 8 out of 10, for example. But you guys can disagree if you want. You can go 10 out of 10, for example. So yeah, that's what I'm probably going to give him really. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is Eunice, who's a Norwood. With things, I've already had her before because she's been on Sunflower for a while. But obviously, if you guys have not encountered Eunice before, but obviously if you have, then it'd be nice, because obviously Eunice is definitely a generous sheep, and I've had her once, but obviously then she had to go, and then now I had to replace her for Wendy, for example. So that's what I mean. There was like a little switcheroo when you had Eunice, and then obviously got replaced with Wendy. So that's what sort of happened really. But obviously for me, because Eunice doesn't been on my iron for that long, I feel like I can give her a 10 out of 10 because she's one of my favourites, and I wish she'd stay on the island for a bit longer, but even though Wendy's now her new replacement on the island, so that's why you guys see more of Wendy these days than poor Eunice, for example. But obviously, the both of them are exactly similar, aren't they? Because they're both sheep. There's no difference between them both. They've both got different personalities, so there's not much difference between them both. But that's what I can probably say for the pair of them, because obviously we might be ranking Wendy soon. So who knows? Maybe 10 out of 10 tops. Who knows? But let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is Frita. Well, the thing is, she is like, a sister figure, but obviously I have to say is that she's also a foodie, but I have been trying to hunt for her for a while, because when I was doing my villager hunts, I was thinking to myself, hey, let's go villager for Frita. Well, it happened to me once, and obviously when it didn't go to plan. But I don't want to keep using the word obviously today. I keep using it twice and twice again, but that's the thing, I can't even think of another word to describe it. But obviously eventually I did get another sheep, didn't I, which was, Wendy. So at least we know that we've got a different sheep, but I really wanted, Frita in particular, because she looked different to all these other sheep, that she's more foodie. She looks like a burger sort of thing. She's got a lot of fries. She looks so different to all of them. Also, she's wearing like a hot dog sort of suit as well. So yeah, she was the one I really wanted, to be honest, but unfortunately she's not, on the island. But in the day, it doesn't matter that much. Who knows, might get on another island, for example, but who knows about that. But obviously, when with a ranker though, it's going to be quite hard, because I only met her on a villager hunt, and the next thing I didn't catch her. I don't know why, but I keep doubting myself on that day that I didn't actually went villager hunting, then saw her. The next thing I saw her, and I went too greedy and went somewhere else, you know what I mean? So, didn't want to rank her though, so what can I rank her with? Honestly, 9 out of 10, but we're not going to do too many 9 out of 10, because otherwise you're going to get too carried away, That's what I'll probably mean, really. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So my next one is Muffy. Well, the thing is, Muffy is like, a gothic sheep that you can always see every day. And the thing is, I know for sure that I've had her on my island before, and she doesn't like, she doesn't like when she's on camera, because she always hides from me when I try and record her on video or something like that. That's what Muffy's like. The thing is, I wish I had her again, because Muffy was definitely a good villager to have for like a long while, even though she's like, a gothic sheep. But at the end of the day, you gotta take her, haven't you? Obviously, I would suggest it being like, if you guys are looking for for example, gothic or villagers, I recommend Muffy, because obviously Muffy's definitely a villager of any means to be gothic, isn't she? And she likes that sort of thing. But what am I gonna rank her? Honestly, 10 out of 10. But obviously it isn't giving them 10 out of 10s, and it is getting 9 out of 10s more than once or twice, but who knows about that. And let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is Pietro, who's a smuggler. Well, the thing is, he's very colourful, because he's a clown. So clowns definitely count in gothcore or any core, maybe kidcore or something like that. Well, if I was you, I'll literally have him in kidcore and gothcore as a villager to actually have, because he's so colourful, isn't he? And you can tell that he might give you nightmares on the other hand, because that's what Pietro's like. He likes to scare you. He likes to give you nightmares. But the thing is, he can also be used when it comes to kidcore. So you can have him in both if you're looking for a villager like Pietro, for example. But for me, all I give Pietro, well, the thing is, he's a funny character, but he can also creep you out, so that's something. But it's not like there's not much of negativity around him either, so it's going to put me in a good position, maybe give him around a 7 out of 10. Well, I wasn't going to go for that, but at the same time, you don't know what's wrong with Pietro. Sometimes he'll scare you, some days he'll annoy you. Who knows? He gives you a lot of doom and gloom sometimes, so you've got to be careful with Pietro, and I'll definitely recommend that just in case you know. So that's what I mean, really. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is Stella, who's an villager. The thing is, I'm thinking to myself, would she be a good villager for like a fairy core sort of island? Because obviously it's her coating that brings me the vibe. Should I go fairy core with her? But I'm not really sure, to be honest, because Stella, she's a hard one to find, because sometimes when you do villager hunts, Stella won't appear. It's kind of rare and random to find her. She's one of the rarest ones, I could probably say, because I'm not really sure, but I've not done a Village hunt, and I thought to myself, right, am I going to go after, like, Stella, for example, to replace Eunice? Well, now obviously that didn't happen, because obviously I was obviously after Wendy, for example, but obviously Wendy was, like, out of the blue for me. But obviously for Stella's sake, I'm not sure I'm going to give her, but I'm going to give her an 8 out of 10, because her design's, like, very spotless, but obviously she's also adorable. I know some of you do like her, so I recommend going high or low. It depends if she's your favourite or not, but I won't mind by that. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is Timbra, who's a seafish, but the thing is, I've not seen her before, so honestly, I'm not sure what I'm probably going to give her, because she's like, a sheep, but she doesn't look like the sheep that I would want to, like, go after. But I think it's the designs that's putting me off right now, because I have no idea what I'm going to give her when it comes to the terms when it look by looking at her design very well. Well, I haven't met her before, I'm not sure what she's like, so it's going to be, quite honestly, I'm sort of thinking a 4 out of 10, because again, her stupid personality might give her a bad reputation of what she would actually say to people, because sometimes snooties can get, carried away with their, like, fashion, for example, and it goes, like, maybe a little bit too far. So that's what I mean. Sometimes snooties just get too obsessed with fashion and they forget about everybody else on the island. That's what happens. It's all but down to fashion. That's what they like. So let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next villager today is Vesta, who's a Norvege, but the thing is, I know for sure that Curie likes this one, so honestly I'm going to give her a high, which is going to probably be around a 9 out of 10, because obviously this time I didn't do too many 9 out of 10, so I'm pretty glad for that, because her design's very, like, farm core sort of style, but obviously I was sort of thinking to myself when it came to villager hunting, what am I going to go with? Maybe Vesta? Maybe another sheep that I've not met before, like Stella, for example, but obviously that didn't happen, did it? So that's what I mean. Sometimes you just don't know when it comes to when looking for sheep villagers, like to replace another sheep villager, like Eunice, for example, but that normally happens, so you never know, do you really? But let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is the one only Wendy. Well, the thing is, Wendy's definitely your favourites, isn't she? So I know for sure that she'll definitely get a high one. So let me think for a minute, because sometimes I actually get too overexcited over it, it's going to be quite a mad one, but obviously I know what I'm going to give her, which is going to be a 10 out of 10, which was definitely a good decision, because she's like a sheep that is like a favourite of mine, and plus you guys like watching my videos when it comes to seeing her on my shorts, so she's definitely somehow a fan favourite that I didn't notice, because sometimes you never know when it comes to Wendy. Is she a fan favourite or is she not? Well, I didn't know that she was a fan favourite, but I wish she was in tier 1, because Wendy would be a good tier 1er, because she looks kind of kind, doesn't she? She's got a good, like, little personality, even though if you look at her sort of coat in a way, she looks quite wintry and summer at the same time, so it's a mixture of both the coldest season to the hottest season. So yeah, that's why I've got a lot of opinions on her when it comes to other sheep, because obviously it's so hard for me to rank the other sheep, because sometimes it gets hard for me to know about, isn't it? Let's get to our last one of the day, okay? So our last video today is Willow, who's a Snoopy. Well, the thing is, she is indeed a fan favourite, but I've not really thought to myself, I haven't met her before either, so it's kind of a hard one for me to sort of decipher, to be honest, because she's definitely indeed a fan favourite by many means, but from my sort of perspective, I like her design very much, because it's like very like, fairy core sort of vibe, so you could have it on a fairy core island if you wanted, but obviously Willow's definitely got that lovely glow on her, and she might have a fashion hobby, because by looking at her personality, Snooty might mean fashion, I mean. What happened there? I was going to say fashion and I say ration for some reason. Whoops. Never mind. Well, I'm just saying is that she's kind of funny, isn't she, in a way? But obviously I know for sure that I've got to give her a high, which is probably going to be a 9 out of 10, because of her design's good, and she's not like all the other snooties that look a bit underrated. And I think she's more like not overrated by any means either, because I'm not sure if she's like an underrated one or an overrated one. Well, it's sort of hard, isn't it, when you look on the ArrowCrossingPortal.com. I have no idea what I'm going to think about when it comes to that sort of thing. I'm not sure what tier she's in, so it's kind of hit and miss, isn't it, at the same time? But that's what I mean, really. Let's get to the next part, shall we? Make sure to leave a like on this video, and if you're new to my channel and you want to see more of my content, please subscribe, because obviously there's a variety of content that I'm probably going to be going with, but obviously it might involve Utopia content and maybe Animal Crossing content, but obviously I'm not doing Pokemon content at the moment, so just give you guys the heads up, because I don't know when I'm going to be doing that soon enough, because I need to have more knowledge when it comes to that sort of thing, so I can't really blame myself for not doing that sort of content yet until I know I've got the right knowledge in place. Also turn notifications for further Animal Crossing Utopia content from me. That's what I say, recently, bye for me, Costa, and I'll see you in the next one, so bye!